And welcome back. It's the early morning Sunday show. But last week I was reminded, if you're over like in Australia, this is the late evening Sunday show. Or is it early morning Monday? No, I think it says late evening. So, hey, wherever you're at, welcome anyway. The opening, that is the oldest lighthouse in the state of Michigan. I know, you're going, wow, no kidding. Yeah, 1839, Fort Gratiot built there. It's where Port Huron, well, it's actually at Port Huron, where Lake Huron, one of the Great Lakes, it turns into the St. Clair River. It flows down to Lake Erie, and it goes down past Michigan. This is where all the big freighters come through. So they threw that lighthouse there in 1839. Still the original lighthouse. They made it bigger, but it's still the original. So yes, part of my travels for the week. I had never seen that, and I was just kind of traveling. You hit a town for an evening, you're going to stay there. All is good. I like to explore. What's it? What else? I've been there a number of times, but I've never been down this one road. And there it was. So yay for me. I got to see that. Lions. Okay, beat Green Bay. Yes, that's a big thing for us. We don't beat Green Bay. Now this is actually this is the Sunday show, but Saturday morning when I'm recording this, so I can put in my samples and get it out by 5 a.m. But the Nebraska plays Michigan, and Michigan's like, was it number 2 ranked? Oh, it's going to be a long afternoon football game, but go Lions. Let's get into this. We're going to begin with a Vinyl Douche inspired album. Now, I did that video about, can I afford to be a record collector? And I talked about the dangers of the VC, buying the stuff that people show. Ta-da! Vinyl Douche does it again. One of the most dangerous channels in the VC for me. And this band here, they're out of San Francisco. It's called C-Bite. There's not a lot of information out there about this band. But Sam, he played a sample from it, and I really like it. It's a 4-piece band. They're like 80s, 90s inspired indie shoegaze band. Indie pop, shoegaze, 3 female singers, 1 male drummer. The 3 female guitarists, but they all do sing because there's some really good harmonies on this. And this is their second album, and it's called Lemon Lights. What I learned is, I was trying to find out a little bit more about this album, so I went and I put in the name of the album, Lemon Lights, and what appeared was all kinds of things about marijuana. So we learned by doing this, and this is why part of record collecting is we learn more and we become much wiser. I learned that Lemon Lights is a form of marijuana. So that was highly educational for me, and now I know. I am in the know, so I know that this is named after a form of marijuana, which maybe that's the pictures. Has beautiful lemony, limey vinyl. I like that. So on here you have 12 dreamy pop tracks, shall we say, that are filled with real close harmonies, jangly guitar, and jangly distorted guitar happening. It has a real 90s alt rock kind of vibe to it, but yet it's dreamy and shoegazy. It's all at the same time. It's all in there, which means the vocals are kind of buried a little bit more distorted, shall we say. I think that's would be the sound. It's sunshiny shoegaze. Some shoegaze is a little dark, they play, maybe some more minor keys or something. This is sunshinier. If you feel a little, you feel happier, and I really like that. It was just feel good dream pop. And just the harmonies were beautiful on this. I really enjoyed the guitar playing. So a nice young group, Sea Bite, which Sea Bite is actually named after a little animal in the sea, a little crustacean or something that comes up, and it's very tiny, but it likes to bite, and it doesn't feel good. So we have a animal that likes to bite you and marijuana. So yeah, there, educational. This is an educational channel. We try to help. So good album. Sam Final Douche does it again. I have a lot of stuff thanks to Sam. Now, this album, excited to get this. This is Neon Pearls. And you go, oh yeah, the Neon Pearls. God, they made some great stuff. They were pretty awesome. Well, then you don't know crap. Neon Pearls. This is from the Bill Young collection. Neon Pearl. And what do we got here? We have traditional black vinyl. This is in mono. And there is a comes with a little sheet about them, and they have all this like pictures and that go into the writing that makes it extremely difficult to read. So Neon Pearl is a they never released anything. They were oh well, actually this came from surviving acetate and tapes that have been found, and they put together to make this album. They were formed in the UK. They were formed in 67, broke up in 68. But they formed in the UK, and they were trying to get some gigs, and they wound up going to Germany, and they were able to get a residency at a club. And they had to do 4 shows a night. Well, what they found when they got there is, hey man, we don't got a lot of cover tunes. You know, because they were playing, that's what everyone was doing then. It was 67, 68, they were playing cover tunes. And so they go, well, one of the members had written some music. And so, well, why don't we mix this in? And so they did. It was the psyche stuff. And the crowd loved it. Because, you know, the crowd was tired. Every place you went, they played cover tunes. And here some people were playing something original. And so they were packing the place in. And it was, you know, really good. And they did that for a couple months. And they moved to another one. And someone else heard them and says, you know what, let's record some stuff. So they did. They went in and they recorded some singles of their music. And they thought, all right, we're making it. We're going to make it big. And they went back to the UK to try to get a publishing deal. And no one cared. Couldn't get anybody. No one picked up on it. And the group wound up breaking up. Some of the group went on. They formed a group called Please, which I don't know. Another offshoot of this was group T2 or The Flies. It maybe in the UK, some of you over in the UK might know who these people are. I have zero idea. But this is nice, trippy psych. The vocals are very good. The vocalist, not bad at all. And it's just full of fuzzy, distorted guitar. So, yeah, and this is the kind of stuff that, you know, Bill Young loved to collect, this obscure psych that's out there, you know, and so this was all this unreleased music that came out, and I... Let's go into a lottery album. The lottery. I'm getting down. Getting through most of the lottery now. I've been showing it almost every week, a few of them, and we're getting there. Most everyone sent some album. Some didn't. You know, that happens. Believe me, I got plenty. But this came from Tim at High Noons Vinyl. Check that channel out. And, I'll have these like channel links, Michael, for Tim. If in the description, you can go in and I will have links to other channels. I ask you to check them out. Take a look at them. And so this is Ray LaMontagne. I think I have this right. I tried to get a pronunciation because they throw like G's and crap in there. So I'm gonna butcher it, but I believe it's pronounced LaMontagne. And chances are I'm wrong. He has put out 8 albums. This is his 6th album. Came out in 2016. Otto Oscuro Ouroboros. All right. So, however that is pronounced, have you ever seen those symbols? You've seen, all of you have. It's a snake eating its tail or a dragon eating its tail. It's a very ancient. I mean, that's back from the times of Egypt and Greece. That symbol, and it is called an Ouroboros. Yeah. The education that comes from this channel is so freaking incredible. I mean, really, they're using these videos in PhD classes. They are. You don't know that, but they are. Yep. How about that? Look at that. Isn't that nice scenery? I like that. Obviously out in the Southwest desert, or it could be another country for all I know. What do I know? Doesn't say. And what else do we have here? We have, this album came with an inner sleeve, and it gave it a white paper thing. So, yeah, there we go. I know that's in the Southwest. That's a real famous waterfall. There's the lyrics, and this is the only way you're going to find the name of the songs, and it is harder than hell to tell where you're at within this album. That probably wasn't the best. I'm sure it looked cool on paper and it's very artsy looking, but I didn't much care for that part of it. And the vinyl, and yes, vinyl Richie, just don't try to put it back in jacket. I know it. I know what you're saying right now. And label. So back to this album. What happened is, so Ray, in his life, he was making shoes. He had his guitar, singer-songwriter and that, but he was dedicated his life to making shoes. And then one morning he woke up to, on the clock radio, Stephen Stills' song. It's called Treetop Flyer. And that song spoke to him. And that song, Stephen Stills came through in that song and said, Ray, you need to dedicate yourself to being a singer-songwriter and screw the shoemaking. And he did. He listened to his inner Stephen Stills. Now, that's a true story. He heard this song, decided to go in to become a full-time singer-songwriter. I don't know that Stephen Stills song, but there's something in there that made Ray do this. And he did. And he's made some really good music. I have heard his name. I used to have a CD or two of his. But it was just, again, a blur with when you sometimes buy too much music, you can't remember everything that you have. This album was great. I really enjoyed this. What made this interesting is Jim James from My Morning Jacket produced it. And members of My Morning Jacket were part of this album. Now, quite a bit of this album, it has this kind of a hazy, loose, blissed out type of a sound, and it's most enjoyable. I mean, it's kind of a kick back, relax, put this album on. But there's some songs, like the third song is In My Own Way. I would tell you, I would read it off here, but it's not written in here anywhere. But in My Own Way, okay? And that has some intensity, and I think I play a sample of that on here. And the intensity was a lot of fun. It just kicks in, and great sounding song. But what I found, in the first 2 songs are kind of a dreamy folk pop feel to them. Wonderful sounding album. His voice is great. This was, as soon as I put it on, I go, gosh, I like this. It just immediately it hit me. It says this is very, very good stuff. So really appreciate this. This was great, Tim. Thank you so much for sending this to me as part of the lottery. The letter L for LaMontagne. Is that French? It sounds like I'm saying French, doesn't it? It almost sounds like I'm talking French. We know, I know that's a disaster. How about an album from Puerto Rico? Yeah. Finally got this listened to. Well, it was listened to a long time ago. It finally made it into the rotation. I mean, I pull albums that I haven't shown from last year. I just it's a full crate of records to show, plus a stack on the side. I was doing pretty good, and then the lottery pushed me behind, and then I get stupid and buy too much, and then I don't buy, and the life of a record collector makes 0 sense whatsoever on how you spend your money. But this one I got in Puerto Rico, and it is rare Mexican cuts of the 60s. That's just what it is. Rare. It's garage rock from the 60s, from Mexico. And this thing's awesome. And this is fun. So we have such as Los Locos del Ritmo, which from the Pedro Pistolas, the Peter Gunn theme. How about Los Anis, Mary Mary? That's actually Michael Nesmith wrote Mary Mary. We have Los Apasones, Satisfaction. Gotta have that. And the important one, well, we got Los Rockin' Devils, which is that was the name of the group, Los Rockin' Devils, and Hello Ketel, Hello I Love You. Just fun stuff. The one I really like though is from Los Locos del Ritmo. Everyone has Los. Everyone trying to put the in front of the name. Los Locos del Ritmo, Hey Joe. Now, on our podcast last week with Jim Gleason, two guys talking about records, there's the plug for the podcast, we talked about cover songs. And, the most covered song, the number one covered song in the whole entire world, for those of you who didn't listen to podcasts, which probably a lot of you, is Yesterday by the Beatles. There are 2,200 versions of Yesterday out there. Now, when you think about that, just think about Muzak. And Yesterday was just a beautiful thing for them. But Hey Joe, which I contend that every single cover band does Hey Joe and does a version of it. There is over 1,800 versions of Hey Joe that have been made. And they have one of them. It just did not disappoint. There it was. Hey Joe. I'm going to play you a sample. Hey Joe. But it's in Spanish, so it makes it twice as fun. This is a fun album. This is just great. It's from Spain. Again, I found it at Oye Los Tigres, the record store in San Juan. That after many years, I located a record store in San Juan, thanks to my friend Herman down there. So, yeah, good stuff. Just 60s garage rock. Awesome. And it is called Split Cranium. And this was VCLT from my friend Mark Mad for Vinyl. He sent me this. And he wasn't sure it was a sealed copy. And he goes, I think it's a punk band. And it sure is a punk band, man. Split Cranium, and Mark Mad for Vinyl. Again, his link's down below. You know, great channel. Mark has just been the best friend, someone to, you know, fun to talk with and be in contact with. And one of these days, we're going to get together and meet up and go look at records. He's out in Rochester, New York, so it takes a bit to get there. But here, Split Cranium. Okay, this is their self-titled album. Came out in 2012. It is formed from members of an American kind of punk band called Isis and a Finnish group called Circle, which was an avant noise metal band. And they get together, these members from both bands, and they form Split Cranium. Martin Jones. This album is you. Martin Jones, he's down in Detroit. He has a channel. Worth seeking out if you love concert footage of punk bands. This is the man. But he also shows a lot of stuff. Big movie fanatic. Incredible autograph collection. But this is the punk, and I say that they play straight ahead punk on this. It's fast, it's hard, it sounds great, but it's the voice. It's the voice. It's one of those howling, growling, yeah, and one of those type of voices that I don't have a clue what he's saying. There's just no way on God's green earth I can make out a single one. And when Martin shows some of his concert footage, there's those kind of singers. They go, "Martin, I don't get it, Martin. I don't understand it." But the playing on this, it was great. I mean, it was just fast, fun, furious. I mean, it really came out. Crashing drums. There's feedback happening. It's 25 minutes, 8 songs, and it's bam, 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 bam. I mean, they have like a song, Yellow Mountain. There's Gregorian chant happening. Black Body Plague. On that one, they use some music from Metal Machine music from Lou Reed. They put into that. So, I mean, it was just speedy punk riffs. You have a song, it was called Tiny Me, I believe. Tiny Me. And on there, you can hear the lick from the ZZ Top song Legs is popped into that. It's just fun. So if you get through the vocal list and you like that harder punk sound, again, you know, remember, it's a Finnish metal noise band that's part of this. So, hey, you get that. This is good. You know, my first listen, I go, oh my God, Mark, what the hell? And then, you know, you listen to it a few more times, I'll say, okay, I'm getting into this, except for the singing. I just don't get it. I just, God. Listen to it. Maybe you like that. All right. VCLT from another member, and I just met up with him, Michael Christensen, as I mentioned. Michael and I got together to have we went out and we looked at some records and then went out to eat in a Mexican restaurant. Well, he'd sent me this a while back, and he sent me Whiplash Smile because on one of my morning shows, I showed a Billy Idol, and I had the first 2 Billy Idols. This is all the Billy Idol I need. I am happy in life. I need no more. Michael and his channel is ML Blue 535, and he would just right now say, "Go Lions, go Wolverines." So we're not going to be in agreement on today's game, but he said, no, you need to have this one. And this is the 3rd album from Billy Idol. Came out in 1986. And this was an ambitious album. He really kind of changed some stuff up. It had the hit on here, To Be a Lover. Got to be a lover. You know, big hit for him. But really what this album, and Michael sent this because he says, this album showcases Steve Stevens' guitar playing, you know, the guitar player for Billy Idol. And it does show. His guitar playing is really phenomenal in here. It really is, it takes over and you can really hear it. But what's also interesting is when Steve Stevens was working on this album, in the same recording studio was another musician called Harold Faltermeyer. Harold Faltermeyer, I believe. He was the man that did the keys on Axel F from Beverly Hills Cop. Da 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 da. That was him. And they got to talking and, you know, formed a friendship. And he came over and played synths on this. So it made it, you know, here we have synthesizer keys going on this album. And they are, you know, you can hear them very much so. And it has that sound that you would hear on that, on Beverly Hills Cop. Now, Steve Stevens and his Faltermeyer, they went on and they worked on the soundtrack, helped on that for, the Tom Cruise, what was that Tom Cruise movie? Top Gun. So, you know, they kept going on and they did some more music. But this one here, it was, this is, you know what, there is, I said, great guitar playing, and so Michael was right on that. I'm just trying to see, do we got anything special in here? There we go. Oh, look at that. Of course, we got the Whiplash smile, and we got a whip. Yeah, there we go. And Return to Splendor. Very nice. All right, very cool. Nice inner sleeve. So, you know, there's a World Forgotten Boy on here, and it's just a belter. It just comes at you, hits you. The guitar and synth is fantastic in that thing. Sweet 16 was one that kind of stuck out to me, and they use a drum machine, and actually there's a drum machine in a few of these. It's just, you know, you just don't think about, you know, it's hard, but it's the 80s, so drum machines were big. But it's more of a laid-back, dreamy type song. It kind of slows down. Something different, but sounds good. Don't Need a Gun was another one. That starts off on the second one, and that they use real drums in that thing. Real drums, man. And just a fantastic guitar solo. It just stands out. So, yeah, this was great, Michael. Huge thank you for that and sending this my way. I did enjoy it very much. Okay, that's what we got for this week. I have one more album, but I don't know, man, I talked a lot about something. I don't know what the hell I got into, but as usual, this thing became going way over. So I want to get some samples in there, but hey, thanks very much for watching this week. I appreciate it. And, see you, yeah, Thursday. I got something, an antique show. I went to an antique show and I got some great records. I got some interesting pricing, let's say that. So drop on by. Thanks, everyone. Bye.